Welcome back inside the Verge Studios today. It's another episode of Pardon Our Promotion from the Verge team. Bob, how you doing?
I am doing fantastic. You, Scott?
You look sharp. I like that jacket.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
looking
you.
real good.
It's a little chilly in the Verge Studios today, so I thought I'd throw a jacket on.
I want to talk about, I think, marketing and promotions today. You game?
I am.
Okay. All right. I know that most teams kind of combine their marketing and promotions department, but there is a difference, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, marketing takes the promotional content to market, right? So I think to kind of help us find out a little bit more, add to the conversation, we're going to bring in Johnny Bravo, the Johnny Bravo.
All right. I'm excited.
The most important Johnny, Burt Reynolds, sorry. I mean Johnny Bravo. Johnny.
Either or.
Welcome to the show, JB. How you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me, guys.
Yeah, my pleasure. Love the stash. Love everything about it. You look great.
And he's coming live from where? I see a stadium light in the background.
Live from Fresno, California, which you can kind of see out of my
there you
dirty
go.
office.
There it is. Fresno Grizzlies.
What's the weather like there in December?
It's a freezing 47 degrees here. We got a little bit of rain this weekend, which was a big deal. It's hilarious. So you get a little bit of rain in California, and all of a sudden everyone forgets how to drive. The streets start to flood. It's fantastic.
Wow. Yeah. That's crazy.
And that was part of the, you got the rain, and the Nevada's got the feet of snow, right? 6-8 feet of snow or something?
It's pretty cool. On a really clear day out here, you can actually see the mountains. Being in the Central Valley, it literally is a valley, right? So you can see out right in center field the snow-capped mountains, which is just beautiful. If we were to play baseball in December, it would be one of the best views in minor league baseball.
Right.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, JB's joining us, as he mentioned, from Fresno, the Fresno Grizzlies, single A affiliate of the Colorado Rockies. JB, what do you do for the Grizzlies?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm the director of marketing and communications, which means that I kind of do a little bit of everything on the external side of our organization, right? In minor league sports, as everyone knows, everyone wears many different hats. So I do everything from the marketing outreach side of things to the traditional media, going on the news, talking about what we have coming up with the team, and then also oversee the entertainment and promotions aspect of our organization as well.
Copy that. So yeah, that's huge for our conversation today, because we're talking about the way marketing and promotions work together. As I mentioned a couple minutes ago, a lot of teams join that together, but there is a difference, and I think it warrants a conversation. A lot of the times when I'm building a promotion, I think about what aspects of it could be marketable, what would make this promotion, and what's the carrot to get the fan or the audience there. Talk about, JB, if you will, some of this stuff that when you're taking either a theme or a promotion to market, what kind of stuff are you looking for? What's important to you as the one marketing and leading that narrative?
Yeah, well, absolutely, Scott. I think you hit the nail on the head, right? I think one of the biggest pitfalls that a lot of teams, whether it's minor league sports, collegiate sports, anything, fall into is that they don't end up promoting their promotion, right? And that was something I learned from a very early time in my career, is that you could have the coolest promotion ever. You could have the most famous individual ever come into your ballpark, but if you don't tell your fans about it, then no one's going to show up, right? You're not doing the final piece to your promotion. So, when we're looking to take a promotion to market, we're looking for something that will excite our fan base first and foremost. A lot of the things we do, although on its very surface might not seem like it, a lot of our promotions are community focused promotions, even all the way down to, let's go ahead and take the most recognizable one, the Fresno Tacos, right? At its core, the Fresno Tacos are a community based promotion because it's something our community is excited about. Fresno is the birthplace of the taco truck, or at least we like to consider it is. So, something that our community can latch onto and just take it and run with it. You also want to have that wow factor, right? In minor league sports, we have a really cool opportunity that we have a lot of freedom to do stuff that hasn't been seen before or that the big leagues can't do, right? So, something that might seem totally out there, off the wall, is something that we can actually put out onto the field, put into our market. So it really has a lot of things, right? And that's what the best promotions are, right? The best promotions are one that you have a lot of different pieces you can pick out. It lets you talk about it again and again and again. You're not just saying that, oh, we've got Marvel's Defender of the Diamond Knight coming up. No, you're saying we've got Marvel's Defender of the Diamond Knight. We're going to have cosplay characters out here. We'll have a giveaway out here, a bunch of different assets that we're then able to go ahead and just continue to pepper our fans and pepper our community about.
And the layers appeal to different demographics or tastes,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the big things I got out of what you just said is the main promotion is one thing, but that might not get everybody out or get people excited, right? So that layering of the different aspects of it is a big deal in your marketing.
Yeah, well, and I feel that even carries into as soon as the fans step into the ballpark, right? Is, as important as it is to do your marketing, to get them out here, get them excited. If you're hosting a very specific, let's call it 80s night, and you promote it as it's going to be 80s everything, and 80s are, the theme of that evening, and then the fan gets out to the ballpark and it's just another typical night at Chachansey Park, then it's going to fall flat, right? The fans are going to be, what the heck? I was promised everything 80s. And there's nothing 80s, and there is so much you can do, especially in 2023, to just hit the nail on the head, right? Everything from the music you play to the look of the video board to the look of even your digital menu boards is something Scott and I have talked about a lot over the past few weeks, which is a really cool auxiliary piece that we have that we can use that you can help make your promotion all that much better.
Oh, that's a great idea. That is, and you hit on it just a little bit. Sometimes teams will come up with something and plan it and even market it, and then they don't produce it, which is, of course, one of our P's of an effective. But the other way is they do a great job of producing it, and they've marketed it, but let's just say 50% of your fans that show up, I'm just going to throw that number out, don't know that it's 80s night. And so they forget to market it to the fans that are actually in-house. And tell them, hey, it is 80s night. Hey, and with the digital menu boards and other video board content, that's the reason why there's a character down on the field doing something silly, because it's 80s night or it's Marvel's night or whatever. Yeah, and teams forget to tell those people that are their regular fans that might just be showing up just to show up what's going on.
Do you ever look at the experience in general and market that? Not necessarily like, it's not 80s night or 90s night, but, do you experience or market the experience? And if so, how do you do that?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially coming out of COVID and going into 2023, the experience out here at the ballpark, especially in minor league sports, is one of our biggest selling points, right? You can, if you go to a big league game, you're going to go watch baseball and you're seeing the experience of, you've got the best 9 guys out on the field. That's absolutely possible. For minor league baseball, it's about so much more than just the game, right? People are coming here to see Parker, our mascot. They're coming here to enjoy a drink out in our Fresno social area. And that's something that we've really started to captivate or focus on since COVID, and we'll just continue to go more and more and more of, capture that fan experience, capturing the kid who's just having the absolute time of their life that will now be a lifelong fan of the Fresno Grizzlies. I think that's one of the most important things that we can do as a marketing and promotions person. And you can flip that around. If you get a really good photo of a kid high-fiving Parker, you can use that forever, right? You can, and you should be using that forever. You should have that on your billboards. In minor league sports, so many of our players either our fans don't really know who they are, or, they have them for a season and then they move on to bigger and better things, hopefully. But Parker will always be here. The Fresno Grizzlies as a brand will always be here. Fresno Grizzlies brand of entertainment. I really want every single fan who comes out here to leave happy, whether the Grizzlies win, whether the Grizzlies lose, and just have those lifelong memories, because that's really what it is about, and that's something that's really easy to lose during the length of the season. But we're out here, we have a phenomenal opportunity to give these people lifelong memories that they'll never forget. And that's something that we should be including, and we are including in every bit of our marketing.
When you're working on kind of your content calendar and your campaigns for the season, are you looking at are you developing with your promotional team content that you intentionally can take to market, or are you just are you guys trying to develop the promotion for the game and then you're going to take the whatever the product is and take that to market? So, I mean, that might be a really confusing question. I'm confusing myself. Are you, does the marketing lead the effort, or do the promotions lead the effort and the marketing takes the product and just brings it to market? Or a little bit of both, I guess.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think in a perfect world, they're working in tandem, right? They're working parallel to each other. And then, you get together and the marketing teams or the promotional team says, hey, we should really look into, again, let's go ahead and use 80s Night as an example, just because that's the first one on the top of my head.
And you have really a mustache that looks killer 80s.
Absolutely. It's a little bit of a subliminal for their 80s Night thing. I'm throwing it out specifically for our Decades Weekend this year. It's going to be fantastic by that point. The promotions team says, hey, we should really look at this. And then the marketing team's able to come in and be, wow, that's a really cool idea. What if we add X, Y, Z? Or, oh my goodness, if we're going to go on the news, I should be dressed up as if I'm in the 80s to really hammer it home.
Sure.
That's the kind of night we're putting on, right? In a perfect world, and again, in minor league sports where we have small front offices who we are able to sit down and have those kinds of meetings and those kind of constructive brainstorming sessions, you're able to do that kind of thing, right? So I think it's really important to have both sides working together. Now, obviously, there's going to be times where promotions will say, hey, we're doing this, we've got this really cool idea, and then marketing will have to find unique ways to promote that, or vice versa, right? And it's really important that you have a good, cohesive team that you're able to do that.
Yeah. Do you ever combine the two elements? Meaning, a lot of the promotional stuff that is done is live activation, right? And then the marketing is just, taking what the live activation is going to be and showing people pretty much. Do you ever, similar to a flash mob, I guess, guerrilla marketing, is there a live marketing piece that you ever think about when doing when trying to market a promotion, or, is there a piece of that is not being done enough that we can, start thinking about and taking it to market in more creative ways? Or, I'm thinking of like in-game elements on the field, instead of doing them on the field, let's go out to a mall and do something at the mall or something like that. Have you ever done anything like that?
Yeah, and in a way we kind of have historically our press conferences that we have out here, we always look to try and have a fun kind of hook to get not only to get our market or not only to get our media out here, but also for it to be something visual and fun for them to check out, right? So I remember this was pre my time, but one that is always talked about here is we were going to do a Back to the Future-esque theme night. It wasn't specifically Back to the Future, but it had kind of all the same elements and all that. So our president, Derek Franks, came out in a DeLorean. And that's awesome. One of those things that, for the media who was there, it's an awesome video, right? And that's something that is guaranteed that they're going to include on the news that evening. We've done that with taco trucks more recently when we released our Grizzly City Ale this past season. We had all the beer right there. That was the first chance anyone had to try it. We had Fashawn, who's a local rapper, who was the inspiration for the name Grizzly City Ale. They're speaking at the press conference, which for Fresno was a big deal because he is a Fresno famous individual. That's kind of the way we approach that, or at least we have in the past, is you find ways for our local media to latch onto it. Because again, that goes back to the marketing, the promotion side of things, right? Is that's just another way to talk about whatever we're doing. The Grizzly City Ale being the best example, right? We could have just put out a press release and a couple photos saying, hey, this will be available every single game the rest of the season. But no, we wanted to take it a step further. We wanted the media to come out there, try it, hear from the creators of it. And I feel that really helped capture the local media and help get us airtime.
Yeah, it can be free airtime. Free.
Exactly.
That's the best kind, right?
Yep.
What about vernacular? How do you use it to get the point across that you mentioned earlier, about that family experience, the fun, the lifelong fan, and the fact that players do move. So how do you change that in your marketing messages to, it's always been a challenge for baseball teams to say it's more than just baseball, right? And there's a big fun family experience going on. So how do you use that in your marketing? And actually, I had one more thing to it. I actually recently saw a new team, and I'm not going to say the team name, but it was like their email address said redbirdsbaseball.com. And I'm thinking, they're missing a little step there, because somebody that isn't a baseball fan isn't very excited about that website, So what do you think?
Yeah, I think it needs to be really a concerted effort amongst the entire organization, right? It's really easy from the marketing side. If I live and breathe that it's fans first and fans always and all that, that's great and everything, but it needs to be across the entire organization, right? Everyone from, literally your ticket takers to ushers and everyone in between needs to have that same mindset, right? That it's if fans come first, we're here for the fans. It should be all about the experience. We do take that kind of concerted effort in our marketing messages to make sure that it's clear, to make sure that, it's about the fans. Our primary product, first and foremost, is always going to be baseball, right? We are a Fresno Grizzlies baseball team, but how do we take that and go ahead and build upon that, right? We've got awesome baseball out on the field. Your Fresno Grizzlies are, have made it to the championship 2 years in a row, and that's all good and well and amazing and really cool for our brand. But on top of that, you've got so many other pieces, reinforcing the fact that it's fun, that Parker's here, that, you're coming out and you're getting a whole experience, not just a baseball game, right? And it goes back to the promotion side of things, making sure that your promotion is right there as soon as the fan walks into the ballpark. It should almost feel, and this is something that I know we have lost or we've missed out on the past few years, but something I really want us to get to. It should feel like you're walking into a different world when you're walking into this ballpark, right? Because you're leaving the outside world where you just came from work, or you've got, a bunch of things on your mind, and you get to come to the ballpark and escape. And I think that's something that's really important, right? Is that baseball is an escape for so many people for so many reasons. And what we should be doing is helping build on that little by little. I know that was kind of a roundabout way to get to your answer.
Yeah, no, that's good. But how do you market that? How do you get that message? Because you're talking about once they get there, right? That they're going into this different world. But how do you get that message that you just had in your big brain out into the media, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we do a ton of social media marketing, and one of the things we really want to focus on and want to have a renewed focus on going into 2023, because admittedly we haven't done as well as we should be, is, have very fan focused, right? Whether it's, fans cheering in the stands, or, let's say we hit a huge walk-off and, a walk-off grand slam, woohoo. Yeah, capturing the player celebration on the field is really cool, but let's turn that camera around as well. Let's watch the fans going absolutely crazy as the fireworks are going off, because that should be, we keep saying that that's an important part of our marketing, right? But those are shots that we don't have, and there's no real good reason why we don't. So, again, it's all about the constant concerted effort of making sure that we're capturing the fan experience and then presenting it, like you said, Bob, right? So making sure that our media knows, hey, not only do we have a Grizzlies game tonight, but we have a Grizzlies game that it's 80s night and we've got a giveaway, and, here's the giveaway ahead of time, so you can go ahead and include it on your newscast. So when you're talking about the game, you can be wearing your 80s headband or whatever, right? So a constant little touch points along the way to continuously remind the fans that, there's so much more going on than coming out here watching a baseball game.
That's a really good point. And I'll bring a little example up based on that, what you just said about turning the camera on. Is some teams will cut a 12-second or 15-second highlight and send it to the news channels or post it on social media. And some of them forget to put the fans in that highlight.
Yeah.
They just have the 5 or 6 great baseball players or hockey plays, and they forget that there's something, the 80s night or whatever is happening, and they add those little nuances into the highlights. They still have to show the game action, but they add the other things to say, hey, look, it was fun out here on top of the game action.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's a really good point. I mean, on those post-game press releases, something as easy as concluding highlights from fan experience.
Yeah.
And forcing the issue, you know what I mean?
It really
forcing people to think about it.
I mean, ESPN does a really good job on it. Well, they might lead into their top 10 with something silly that was going on at one of the ballparks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it is about entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
JB, what's your favorite type of promotion to market? Or you can even make it more specific in your most favorite promotion that you ever took to market.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's been a lot over the past couple seasons. Ones that obviously stick out to mind are anytime we can go ahead and plays our alter egos, whether it's the Fresno Tacos or, reviving the Fresno Tigers Negro League team this past season was really cool, just on a personal side, on a baseball side, right? Being a huge baseball fan, to be able to put out those kind of products to our fans, to our community. Any way that we can tie in Fresno is something that's really important to me. I'm not from the Central Valley. I'm from the Bay Area, moved here to attend Fresno State, and have really taken Fresno to be my home. And anything that I can do to help not only lift up the community, but hopefully put us on a national stage is something that just, really drives me. If there's a promotion that we can point to and say, we did that for our community and our community really responded. I think our Ag Nights are a great example of that, right? Central California is really, the agriculture center of the United States, if not the world. And to be able to do Ag Nights multiple times a year and see our community show up for those is really special to us, because we're able to give back to that community.
Yeah, it sounds like, one of the constant themes I'm hearing from you is community, and mm-hmm. that involving the community aspect into your promotion or your elements, into the experience in some way, creates an incentive for your community to come out and attend the show and experience the show. So that's insightful. I'm sure a lot of people don't give that enough credit for what it demands, or what it should demand. So, is there anything specific that you maybe regretted taking to market promotion wise?
Oh, that's a tough one. I mean, there's always going to be promotions that just don't work well, right? Yeah. Unfortunately, that's and usually a lot of the time that is because you didn't take the time to really consider building in all those layers, right? You said, cool, planning. This is a promotion, this is hip, this is now, let's just go run with it and let's do it and let's see what happens. And that's usually not going to work, right? Yeah. So like one that just immediately sticks out in my mind, which is going to be very much a relic of 2021 when we talk about this in 10 years, maybe, is Grizzcoin Night, where we thought we'd do a Bitcoin-inspired Grizzcoin Night. We'd have a couple of Grizzlies NFTs that we'd auction off, with proceeds going to a local community group and all that. And it was just one of those that we didn't. That was literally the only part of the promotion, right? We didn't build out what it would look like when you get into the stadium. 75-80% of our fans didn't even know what Bitcoin, Grizzcoin was, right? So a lot of that there was us not planning it the way we should have. But it's a really good learning experience to take those kinds of promotions and say, okay, what didn't go right with this? Or, if we were to ever do this again, how would we flip this? Or should we do this again, right? Is this something that, if we have this kind of idea, should we take a step back and be, that, probably not the best idea. Let's find something else that would impact the community. So, I think as an overarching lesson, it was a good one for us.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's the little thing I'd like to point out is it is kind of like you came up with it, and it was probably really cute, and it was like, oh, that's going to be fun. But then there was not that extra input after the fact, right? And so sometimes in promotional planning, there is such a great idea, and then people start trying to add ideas to it, and there isn't any. And that's when it really should just be jettisoned. It's like, yeah, we just don't have enough to build on here. And it's just not going to have the momentum. So as cool as an idea may be, sometimes it's best just never to do it.
Yeah.
When you hit that brainstorming dark area where just no ideas are coming, 86 it, go to 80s night, get the Burt Reynolds mustache, and you got something moving.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't think I've got any other things I want to know about marketing right now. What about you, Bob?
I think JB covered it.
That stash is marketable. Not to keep talking about your stash.
There you go.
It's getting weird.
Again, it's now part of the promotion. I didn't even realize it when I started growing it, but
There you go.
and I think it's kind of a parting remark. That should be kind of how you look at every day and everything you do, right? We've got a really cool, fun job, right? We get to go out here and not only sell baseball, but sell a fan experience, sell the opportunity for fans to step into that different world. And you should be looking at everything like that, right? As you're going through your daily life, if you see something that stands out and that's really cool, how can I apply that to bring fans out to our ballpark to give them the best experience possible? And that's something that I try to do every hour of every day and everything that I do.
Yeah. Insightful.
Very nice.
Right on. Well, thanks for your time today, JB. Appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing you soon and seeing that hair on your face grow out a little bit more. We'll see you in a couple of months for opening day.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on, guys.
Thanks, JB.
Thanks, JB. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Well, Bob, a lot of marketing. There's probably way more we can talk about with that, and I'm sure we will as we kind of go along through our series.
Until next time.
Until next time, guys. It's all about your fans. See you later.